Hello and welcome to this tutorial about list slicing in Python. So a Python list, as you now know, may look something like this. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and epsilon. So we now have 5 items inside this list. One thing which we haven't seen before is obviously we can access list items by using positive integers, but we can also access them by using negative integers. So in this case, using -1 as our index will return the last element of the list. Similarly, using -2 will return the last and the second to last element of that list. Now, a new kind of syntax for you to see here is the syntax used for slicing. And basically, just to put it in as a comment here, you might have X with the start position for what you want here, and a hyphen and then end. So to see what I mean exactly, we may have position 0 and then a colon, and then position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because the last position is actually one item before the end. So 0 and 5 will once again show us our whole list. However, if we were to have 0 and 4, that would show us the whole list apart for the last little item here. So one thing to bear in mind is that whatever you put as your end index here, it's actually going to access the elements of that list -1 for the end argument there. We have another way of expressing slicing, which is going to be X and then start and then nothing for the end. And what this will do is, let's say we were to have X and then nothing for end, this would once again print the whole list. However, if we were to have 1, then that will only print from beta until the end, 2 from gamma, and so on. Similarly, we have an empty argument before the colon and then end. And what this will do, you've probably guessed it, let's say we go all the way to 5, is it will start from the beginning of the list. So let's say we only go up to 2, that will print alpha and beta. This also means that if we put nothing before and after the colon, it will once again print the whole list. One thing which is also worth noting is that we can have 2 colons, and let's say we were to have 0 and 5 and then 1. That would print the whole list, and this argument after the second colon is actually called a step. So to be consistent, X, start, end, and step. So if we were to put 2 in the step, we'd actually skip beta and delta in this case. So we'd start here, and then instead of stepping 1, we'd step 2. So we'd step over 1, and then we'd step over 1 again. Similarly, 3, we'll step over beta and gamma, print delta, and then that's it, skip epsilon, because we can't reach the end of the list. So this is the step. What we can also take a look at is negative indices. So if we were to have nothing to begin with as start, and then -1, this would print everything apart for the last element. minus 2, everything for the last, apart for the last two elements, and so on. Likewise, if we were to have minus 2 and then nothing, we would print the last two elements of the list. So as you can tell, there are many different combinations for start, end, and step using positive and negative indices. I do strongly encourage you to experiment to get used to list slicing. This is a very useful Python feature. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you on the next video.